Relatively short video. I'm going to show you how I battle damaged helmets. Star Wars universe, the sci-fi universe in general, the helmets very rarely look like they've just come off the showroom, so I like to add a little bit of damage to them and a little bit of aging. Today I'm going to show you two fairly extreme ways to damage your helmets. One is easier than the second, but both of them look really good. Stay tuned. So I'm going to battle damage a couple of helmets, starting with this Cylon Raid, and I've done a full video on this which will be coming very soon, but oh yes, you are seeing me take a ball-nosed or a round-nosed hammer, and I am bashing the living bejesus out of this helmet. This one's made out of PLA, and this will react differently to ones made out of ABS, and I'll show you the difference in a bit. But if you just tap it gently, you will knock off the top layers of your paint, and that's pretty much all I want to do with this version of the helmet. I don't want to go too deep into it. I just want it to look like it's been scuffed on the surface of the armour rather than has penetrated all the way through. As I say, there's a full making video for this Cylon helmet which I'm going to be doing very shortly with all the light effects, etc. But for now I'm just battle damaging it up, and I don't want to do it too much, but I do want to give it a few marks that it makes it look like Starbuck has shot it a few times. So again, this is PLA. Tap it with the bull nose of your hammer just to take that top layer of paint off, and once you've done that, black spray paint, and all I'm going to do is go around the edges of it just to darken it up a little bit. If it's been hit by a plasma bolt of some kind, then it's going to leave a little bit of a heat residue around it, a little bit of a blackened mark, and that's all I'm going to do for this helmet. So this is a real simple way of doing an effect. Now you may notice if you look a little bit at the top, it looks like I've got some of the speckled paint on there. I haven't, and I'll show you in the next video that I'm going to do for this helmet alone how I got that. But it was just a reaction with two paints, but I'll talk you through it on the next video. But on this one, we're just concentrating, as you can see, on the damage. Now obviously I'm going to just overspill that blackened spray onto the helmet itself, just as if the deflection of that plasma bolt has gone over to the side, and the heat from that has gone over to the side. And make sure you go all around the edges. Don't make it too uniform. That's not what we want to do here. So we want to sort of keep that spray really light, so nothing too thick. And again, just overspilling it around to the edge just to make it look like it's flown off a little bit. Same again on the one at the back. I think you get the gist of what I've done here, and that's it. That's all we're going to do. I'm just going to go over them again just to darken the centres, but really that is the easiest way to battle damage a helmet. Simple, easy, bang it with a hammer and add some blackened effects, and I think you'll agree. Well, I think so. That looks really cool. It looks really damaged. You can add a few other bits and pieces as well if you want to, just to make them look like it's hit but it hasn't done any damage. And that's the Cylon damage in place, and I'm happy how that's come out. Now with K2SO's head, this was printed in ABS, and it reacts a little bit differently to being battered with a hammer. It's a little bit tougher, and you tend to find that it doesn't just dent, it actually, when you hit it hard enough, will smash but leave sort of square edges, straight lines, and I don't really think that looks better than the PLA. I actually think it looks a lot worse. You know, damage from a plasma bolt wouldn't leave necessarily straight lines like that, but we still need to do the damage with the hammer. So a bosh away like Billio. You can see what I mean there, square damage, uniform damage. We don't really want that, so we're going to have to tidy that up a little bit. And when I say tidy up, I mean make it look more of a mess. So I'm going to take some of these clippers, and I'm just going to cut some of the square edges away to make it look a little bit more ununiformed, a little bit more jagged. As I didn't have to do this at all on the PLA, but I did need to do it on the ABS. Now the other thing you need to make sure of here is you need to look at the thickness of your helmet. If you hit it too hard, it's going to go all the way through, and I didn't really want that. So I knew this helmet was thicker than the one made out of PLA, so it gave me a little bit more leeway to damage it a bit more. The other thing I did do, once I took all this off, I painted it, and I didn't like it because the inside looks like just flaky PLA, flaky I know it's ABS, but it looked like it, and I didn't like it at all. So I want to give it a more of a metallic look. So ignore the paint job that you see, because that really, I gave up halfway through that. And I'm going to use this UV putty to fill the centre of it. Now, if you haven't got any UV putty, there's a couple of things you can use. You can just use some regular filler of your choice, some wood filler, or you can mix some UV and some talcum powder into a thick putty and push that into the gap. I'm using this Funky Coal putty, and the reason I'm using this is I can set it straight away, which means I don't have to wait for it to dry 24 hours like I would if you were using something like wood filler along those lines. So this UV putty, if you can get hold of it in your country, I don't think it's available in the UK, but you can certainly get hold of it in the USA, and I will try to stick a link in the description. They may have changed their shipping policies, but you can see it's nice and thick and gloopy, and it goes in, and I'm then going to use this end of a brush to just push it out into the actual extremities of the damage, because I want it to merge in, if you will. There's going to be a bit of a hole in the center where it starts, and then I'm going to push it out into the outer edges. You can see why I cut those jaggedy pieces as well. I think they look really nice jaggedy. Next, for the curing, I'm just holding it under a UV light. I gave it about 10 minutes on each one until they were absolutely rock solid. Now, if you're not using a brush, make sure you use a glove. Next, I'm just going to take some yellow, the brightest yellow I could find, and that will be different depending on what you want to use. This is just AV Vallejo yellow, and I've squirted it into the centre, and I've just allowed it to overlap slightly into the damaged area, and I've done the same to the other side. So starting off with yellow, then I took a white and I put the white in the centre, because when I think about heat starts off as white, and then as it gets cooler it changes to whitey, orange, yellow, red into black, and that's the kind of direction I'm going. So the centre of the damage, where the plasma bolt has whopped him in the head straight away, I'm going to put that as a white kind of splodge in there. Not a circle solid, I'm going to stagger it a little bit so it merges. Then I'm going to take a red, a nice bright red, and I'm going to go around the outside of the yellow. Again, I'm just going to let that red merge ever so slightly with the inner part of the yellow, just so we get like an orangey colour. You don't want to put this on too thick, and you don't need a lot of it, just enough to cover the outer part of your burn, of your plasma bolt mark, and the inner part of your yellow to just turn it ever so slightly orange, and go around that with it. The other thing I noticed, which I didn't quite like, was the centre part of the white went pink, which I didn't think looked right. So I just gave it another coat of white after I dried it all with a hairdryer, just to make sure that centre part was very, very white and not pink. I didn't want that, so gave it a real light coating back over to cover that shade of pink. And then I took a black and I've gone around the outside edge, similar to what I did on the Cylon, and again you can see that's more like the charred as it's cooled down onto the helmet. I pushed it away as if that plasma bolt energy would have dissipated across the helmet in that direction, and same again on the other side. And that second helmet is done, and I wanted to do two kinds. I wanted to show you this damage from heat, and I also wanted to show you a simple way of doing it, and I hope I've done that with both of these, and I think you'll agree with me, they look alright, they look good. How do you do your battle damage? I'd be quite interested to know how you do it, but I found that doing it this way is simple, and it looks really good. The only thing you need is the balls to batter your helmets with a hammer, but once you've got that, the rest of it is fairly easy to do. So let's have a look at them. Let's just see what they look like. So you'd already seen the Cylon, but let's have a better look at it. There it is, bashed with a hammer on PLA, damaged the outer layer of it, covered it in black, and it's a different kind of helmet, a different kind of material, a different kind of protection, a different kind of alloys, a Cylon. It's different, you know. The good thing with this is you can usually let your imagination run wild. K2SO, more of a plasma bolt that's gone through. And I think at the end of Rogue One, he looks like he's got damage on him like this just before he is destroyed. But you can see, I think you'd agree, that looks really cool. I like it. I really do like the way that both of these helmets have come out. So I hope you found that interesting, and what I'd like to know from you guys is how you battle damage your helmets. Is there something you do differently? Now, we know we can add little scuffs here and there by either painting some silver on with a dry brush, or by painting it silver, putting on some masking fluid and then painting the colour that you want, and then taking the masking fluid off to reveal the silver underneath. We've seen that before. This is a bit more extreme damaging, and I hope you found it interesting. I certainly came across this just by trial and error really with my helmets, just to see how I could make them look a little bit more interesting, and I hope that this helps you. But again, I'd be interested to know how you do your helmets, if you want to make them look a little bit battered or shot with plasma bolts, etc. If you like what you see today, please think about subscribing to Greedy 3D. Your subscriptions really help, and we've just surpassed, when I make this video, 11,000 subscribers, so I'm really chuffed at that, and thank you guys. If you want to join our Patreon, there's a couple of ways you can do that. You can join it for free, you'd be more than welcome to do so, or if you want to pay a couple of quid a month just to support the channel, I'll send you a couple of free STL files for your trouble, and it's just a way of me saying thank you for you supporting this little channel. If you want to buy things like printers or resin, if you buy them through the description, it's an affiliate link, and a little bit will kick back, and it just allows me to continue to make these videos for you. Let me know what you think. Thank you, my Patreons. You guys are wonderful. They'll be scrolling up the screen now, and thank you guys for your support. I really think you're wonderful, and thank you. Let me know how you would do it. Let me know what you think of the video. Just pop a little note down below in the comments. Algorithm loves notes, loves you to put little things in, whether you like it, whether you don't. Even if you just put a thumbs up, the algorithm will love that and will spread the video far and wide, so other people then can join the Greedy 3D gang. Thanks for watching, hope you've enjoyed that, and I'll be making the Cylon helmet in full real soon. It might already be out depending on when you watch this video, but we'll add all the lights in, etc., and I'll show you how I've done that. Thank you for watching, see you next time.